Hey guys, welcome back to your November 2022 reading. I know it's been a minute. Obviously I'm dressed as Jennifer from Jennifer's Body. If you watch the Scorpio video, you'll know that I dressed up as this for a stream, and then my computer's sound issues were just so insane, I just have to take the whole computer in. So I decided, let's do your readings then. If I can't do them on Twitch, we'll just record the videos for at least you and Scorpio. And it's because we have eclipses and you guys are the North and South node and it's going to affect you the most. So I figured let's do Taurus and Scorpio first because they're probably really going through it. So Taurus, if you want to talk about the astrology, if you want more information on that, I will be talking about that hopefully tomorrow, which is October 25th, on the eclipse in Scorpio. So yeah, we're going to talk a lot about that then, and that's where I'm going to be talking more about astrology and doing like little mini readings for you, things like that, over on my Twitch. So if you haven't followed me over there yet, my channel is Deku Tarot, just like it is on here. And when you first follow, you are in line for a little free mini reading. So you can put that in the chat, your question, whatever, and I will give you a free mini reading when I'm streaming. So just make sure to go over there, follow me, and turn on the notifications. And if you're a new follower, it will show up for me. And I will know that you are up for a free reading. Okay? And if you want to book a private reading, just email me at dekutarot@gmail.com. But let's just get into your reading here. We're using the Hermetic Tarot. And things are probably really intense for you guys. With the South Node in your opposite sign of Scorpio, with the Sun and now Venus also there, especially for Taurus risings, this is a very intense time. A lot of things are probably feeling really unhinged in your life, really confusing, and it might not feel like you have a very clear vision of where your future is going. And without that stability, you might be feeling a little bit more uncomfortable than usual. However, I feel that Taurus, we've been kind of trained and put through the ringer over the past few years with Uranus being in our sign. And I do think that has made us more adaptable, more able to change, and less obstinate to it. So I'm waiting for a card to come out here. But yeah, what's this? All right, I know, okay. Oh my God, okay. Major endings have happened. It could feel very much like I'm saying, everything is feeling really unfair. Like, why is this happening to me? Why do I have to be going through this? Why does it feel like everything is constantly being taken from me? Everything that gives me security, stability, makes me feel okay. Why is it all being ripped right out of my grasp? I think for a lot of you, it's been starting from square one in terms of career aspects. Not even so much always like you losing a job or things like that, but there's just been some serious, it feels like, endings with what you thought you would be doing. And, maybe the path that you're on is just no longer satisfying to you. And it's like you cannot ignore that anymore. And it's trying to find what works for you now. I think especially go back to August. What was going on then in July, August for you guys in Leo season? To me, this signifies a major ending then. An ending of a huge chapter in your life. That might feel really... It's almost like you're feeling it more now than you were then. In some ways, these feelings are coming back up. You're having to deal with this massive, it feels like a betrayal. Feeling like you have to watch your back. You don't know what people's intentions are. You don't know what they think of you. And it really bugs you because, oh, sorry, I'm just moving that. That's why I have more room on the table. It's just a cup of water. But we'll get back to that feeling. And seriously rough times. And I think it's been really hard to keep our head high and keep on trucking when it feels like nothing that we're being given is worth our time or worth our efforts. It's just not great. Like, really? This is what I'm being offered? Are you fucking kidding me? Do you know, like, what I've been through to get here? And now you're going to give me this? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, universe? It's very much like, I feel like some of you guys are the Simpsons meme of old man shaking his fist at the sky. I always see that as, like, old man shaking his fist at the universe. Just make that little joke there. But, I will say it's been hard. And I think it has really wore down our confidence, really, in ourselves here. The Star and the Four of Cups. I think it's really hard to see that the universe is backing us right now. It might be really hard to see, Taurus, that you're not alone and that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, but it's like, I thought it would look like this and it doesn't look like that at all. And I always had this particular dream and it feels like that's just not me anymore. Like, or that's just not, what I'm trying to do. That's not it anymore. That doesn't feel right for me. It's no longer what I'm looking for. What I'm being offered is not satisfying. So what am I going to do about it? Emotionally, you're very dissatisfied right now with what you're being offered, especially it feels like in terms of relationships. I think some of you, you single Tauruses are like, okay, this is what you're giving me. Why don't I feel it? Like, what's going on here? Like, there's a lot of discomfort there. And for some of you, you might be able to attribute that to Mars and Gemini. It's not a comfortable place for anyone. But it is especially difficult, Taurus risings, I can see that would be really difficult for you. Your energy that you're able to put into work is just not there anymore. Your drive, in terms of finances, career, things like that, it feels like, what do I do and where do I go from here? The Lovers, options, a choice, a path. I think some of you guys are getting to a point where it's time to make a choice. Oh my God, you've got like, what is that song? It's like, make a choice. No, it's like, make a change. Make a wish, take a chance, make a change, and break away. It kind of feels like that. You're in a breakaway moment here of where are you going to go? With what the energy is giving you and, what it is not giving you. It's like, I say that because you've got 3 major arcana that popped out in a row. The Lovers, the Chariot, the Judgment. These are major changes. These are major shifts. And they ask you, where do you want to see your life go? What are you willing to give up and change? And let's talk about the eclipses. I'm only talking a little bit about the astrology with you in Scorpio because it is so relevant for you both, because the eclipses are hitting in Scorpio in the South Node right now. And I think we have your eclipse coming up as well. We have an eclipse on your full moon eclipse. Your full moon lunar eclipse is going to be, I think, November 8th. Correct me if I'm wrong on that date. But October 25th is the first one that's kicking off this season of eclipses, and we have that tomorrow. That's why I wanted to do this reading today, and why I was trying to get on Twitch to do stuff for astrology and stuff today, and it just, eclipse stuff and everything else, like all the weird retrograde and like strange energy going on with the astrology right now was just like, nah, you gotta go and take this to the Apple store, and now you gotta go fix it. And I was like, okay, cool. That's fine. It's adapting though. You hit a frustrating wall and you say, okay, like this isn't working for me in this way, and I need to change this. How am I going to change it? What am I willing to shift on here? Is the way that I'm going really beneficial to me anymore? I think a lot of you guys, especially in this eclipse energy and over this next, especially the next two to 3 weeks with the eclipse energy, but even more so the next 6 months after, because that eclipse energy lasts for that long, are going to be making, breaking out of a lot of negative karmic cycles and a lot of negative habits, a lot of things that hold you back and keep you down, that keep you from moving forward. Like, you could be moving forward, you could be making these changes, you could have these specific, the life of stability and security, but it's different than what it used to be. You're not getting there the same way. And I think a lot of you guys are realizing that. Like, the path that I was on is not working. It is time to adjust. It is time to change. It is time to change who I am functionally. So what direction do you want to go in? And if your goal is this, what holds you back? Where are you self-sabotaging? Why have we been sitting here accepting less than when it is time for us to change, when it is time for us to ask for more? You have a lot of really big energy that wants to come out at this time. You and Scorpio. That's why I wanted to do yours like back to back here. I might do other signs. I just felt like, let's do it. Go for it. Whatever it is that you fear going for, putting your effort into, you're like, maybe I can't do that. Maybe it's too much for me. Maybe this isn't the right path for me. Did I make it like the wrong decision? There's a lot of second guessing here, I will say. And it's because the energies are so big. But this is, it's almost like you don't have time to second guess. Things are coming in hot, heavy, quickly, and your life is changing very, very fast. Where do you feel excited about doing things? What are you passionate about? It's like, let's break it down and make it more simple, Taurus. I mean, that's what we love, right? That's our energy is, well, how can we make this more pleasurable, more simple, more enjoyable for us? Like, what can we do to make ourselves happier here? And I really think you have a lot of positive stuff coming in, especially in terms of, again, who do you, like, what do you want to, I feel like for a lot of you guys, it's like, I'm not happy working in the world that I'm working in. For Tauruses, and, I mean, all earth signs, like, what you do as a job and the way you make your money is important to you. But especially I find for fixed sign like Taurus, it has to be pleasurable. It has to be enjoyable. I think Virgos and Capricorns are much better at grinding through things that they don't like. But Tauruses, it's got to be like, you got to enjoy it. We're ruled by Venus. Like, it has to be like pleasurable, or else like we just can't keep doing it. It's ridiculous. Like, you cannot keep doing a job that you don't love. If you're a Taurus, you will, but your goal is always to enjoy it, and to enjoy the work that you do, to love it, to not have it feel so much like work, but it's something that's like, yeah, it could be work, but it's, I like doing this. It is a part of who I am. It is essential for me to do this and enjoy this. And I think that for you guys, it's so essential. And I think if you really focus on that, you get somewhere. I'm holding this the wrong way. You really get somewhere there. Judgment, Knight of Wands, and the universe. I said the Earth card. But things are coming in quickly. When you start to make those changes, when you start having these revelations, the way that you are able to manifest and bring this into you, again, as a Taurus, especially with the North Node in your sign, your goals, your desires, like whatever it is that you're working towards, the things that you want to bring in start coming directly to you. Things are drawn to you almost magnetically. So it's, as long as you change that mindset and you know what it is you're trying to bring in, you can bring that stuff in almost too quickly. And I think you Tauruses will know exactly what I mean by that. Being the fixed earth sign, it's really easy for us to manifest things, even things that we don't mean to manifest. And that if we're not being clear about our intentions and what we want coming into our lives at this time, it can get really confusing. It can get really weird really fast. And things that, you know, you might have thought you want are going to throw up on your doorstep, and you're going to be like, I don't want this. Like, what the fuck is this? And it's like, well, that's what you asked for. That's what you're putting out. So make sure what you're putting out is, it has changed. And I think that's really what this energy here is all about. Making sure that what we're trying to bring isn't actually holding us back, and that we are not self-sabotaging and saying, you know, this is what's going to feel good, but is it good for you? And this first eclipse in Scorpio is really going to force you to look at that. How you enjoy things, where you seek your pleasure, what you want to be doing, what you want to be bringing in general. It's like there's a whole like a question of like, if you want your life to look like this, what are you doing that stops you from that? How do you get there? How do you feel that way? How do you bring that kind of stuff in here? Because I think there's a lot of energy, and I don't remember exactly when Saturn goes direct again. We will talk more about the astrology and on Twitch, and when I do those videos, when I'm on Twitch, I'm sorry, whenever I'm channeling, it's hard for me to like bring myself back down to my own reality. But the Six of Pentacles and the King of Swords. This is very, King of Swords is, you know, fixed air. I see that as kind of an Aquarian energy, as somebody that's very, what is the word I'm looking for? And I hope that it's not picking up on all the other sounds outside. I'm sorry if it is, guys. I don't live alone anymore, and it's difficult to find a quiet spot. But Six of Pentacles, King of Swords, where do you want, like, whatever efforts that you want to see, especially in terms of work, especially in terms of the money that you're getting, I think that you can make these changes, but you have to be thinking bigger. And I also think that there's a lot of this Saturnian energy that's going to come in and help you out with that. But because things have been really off with that kind of stuff for a while, it's been really confusing, it's been really divisive, it's been really hindering and not very clear about where it's going. And I think that there is, how do I say this? It's almost like you're going to, I see this as kind of like somebody bigger, something much more huge, like giving you kind of a leg up here. I'm trying to find a better way to English this. Let's see if the tarot will help me. But you're being given something that you have put out there. Again, whatever it is that you're putting out. Whatever it is that you're realizing your mind and resetting your mind and energy to, there's energy that you're very going to quickly bring in. Within this eclipse time, especially that Scorpio eclipse coming up, it's a major ending for some aspect of your ego and kind of accepting this is not who I am anymore and this doesn't work for me. I don't find joy in this path anymore, and that's okay to admit. I think Tauruses, and all the Tauruses I know, I feel like I've known what they wanted to do since they were kids, and they worked on it their whole lives, and that became them. And I think for a lot of Tauruses, they get to a certain point in their life where, like, this thing is killing me. Trying to make it in, whatever, for example, like say you're a Taurus and you've always wanted to be an actor or an actress, and it has just not fed you, it has not been good to you, and it's been a more stressful path in life than anything. It's going to be a moment for you to say, all right, this is done and I have to let this go so I can find success, happiness, and stability and security somewhere else. And I can stop beating a dead horse, and I can bring this into my life in maybe a more enjoyable aspect. Like, maybe I can go make some TikToks and not worry about the income I get from it, not worry about it being, the career that defines me. It's not allowing these aspects or these specific, paths in life, these specific careers or goals that you have set for yourself to define your happiness and define your self-worth, really. And I think this is a really big moment for you guys in terms of detaching your self-worth from what you have accomplished. Ooh, that one hit. I think that might be kind of where the Six of Pentacles and the King of Swords come in there, is that you're going to look at these aspects of yourself in a really different way and say, whoa, I put a lot of energy into this, and I've attached my own self-worth, my happiness, and my everything to being successful in this one thing, or to be becoming this one specific thing, and it no longer feeds me even emotionally. Even if you were doing well in it, it's like there's some aspect of that is dead to you now. I'm not saying this is going to resonate for every single Taurus out there, believe me. Like, I'm not saying like all of you guys are going to be changing your life and career paths and all this stuff, but it doesn't always have to deal with that for you. It can be other aspects of yourself that you are seeing die, and like these other aspects that are attached to your ego, and again, your self-worth finally shifting in ways that allow you more room for joy and more room for growth. And being a fixed sign, being a fixed sign like Scorpio, this is a moment where you kind of have to check your ego at this and say, is this really who I want to be? Is this how I define myself? I don't think so anymore. And it's time to change that. I think it was harder actually to read that aspect for the Scorpios because they haven't had Uranus in their sign. We have, and it's going to be there for a lot longer. And I think Tauruses in general have changed a lot, and they've kind of said, you know what, it doesn't matter. If I have to change, if I have to shift, because that's just what's being thrown at me right now, and I have to adapt. It's forced us to be almost more mutable in that respect of being able to adapt a little bit more, and be able to accept change, being able to look at faults of our own and let them go and say, all right, well, I don't really, if I heard somebody else say the same thing that I just said, would I like that? Would that feel good? Would that hurt people? Would that hurt me if I were in that other person's position to hear those things? And I think if you say no, yeah, that would hurt, like that would suck. Okay, well then it's time to change. It's things like that. It's like, all right, like checking the temperature and saying, all right, like 10 minutes longer, 10 minutes like less, or I'm a little overdone here, like time to take it out, time to change something. All right. There's a lot of overcoming. Oh, you get that card too. Of course you do. But I like this. I think this is, it's difficult. I think that you and Scorpio have really difficult energies that you're leaving behind. And a lot of it, though, is really relieving, I will say. It's like you've held on to this sadness and this mourning and this loss of what could have been. And, oh, my God, I put my energy into this and, like, it gave me nothing back. And I can't believe I put this much time and energy and heart into this, like, because again, Taurus, you don't give up. And you have to look at it as that. It's like, well, at least you didn't give up. You have a character that doesn't give up. That's good. But now is the time for you to say, all right, well, it is time to walk away from something. And it might almost feel like it like makes you a little like feel like, why didn't I do this before? Why didn't I realize this then? Why didn't I, step away when I had this chance, when I, could have done this? Like in my example, I feel like I should have moved up here a year ago, and instead I got stuck in Florida because I wanted to prove that I had built my life there and I could make it work. And I couldn't, and that's okay. I've accepted that, and I had learned some lessons. I would, if I had not stayed an extra year, I wouldn't have my cat. And that's really something I am very grateful for. I love her. She's like my heart and soul. She's my baby, my familiar. But there's a lot of emotional, I'm sorry, like these contacts are killing me too. So my eyes, like they're watering at times. Like I am not used to wearing colored contacts. They're really weird. And my eyes are obviously not blue. If you're watching me for the first time, I'm wearing colored contacts. I do not have blue eyes. I do not look like Jennifer from Jennifer's Body on a normal basis. But the Five of Cups reversed and the Eight of Cups, I kind of like that the Five of Cups is reversed there. It's like you've accepted that it is time to emotionally leave something that was no longer satisfying to you. And you're doing this emotional walkway, which can feel a little lonely, feel a little bit emotionally disparaging. And it can like kind of sick. You might even find yourself crying at stupid things. Like you're like, why am I crying about? Like the other day I was like reading a comic, like, and like there's no need that I should have cried the way I did, but I was like, this is so emotional. And I was like a mess for like 20 minutes, and I was like, oh my God, get yourself together. What's wrong with you? But you don't realize that certain emotions sit within you, and they don't, if you don't fully release them when they're there and when you should have, they're going to come up at really weird ass times, and you're going to have to like use that as your moment to walk away from something, to leave something behind emotionally that you once cared about. And I think it's going through a lot of these, again, because it's emotional upheaval season. When Scorpio season, especially for you guys, it being your opposite sign, a lot of emotional upheavals, especially in terms of relationships, could come to the surface now, even if they're not things that are happening currently, to be released, to be let go of, and to move on from. And I think you should be proud of yourself. There's a lot of growth for you in Scorpio. I mean, for everybody in the season, but especially so for you in Scorpio. There's a lot of growth. There's a lot of self-improvement. There's a lot of releasing negative qualities, bad habits, things that hold you back, areas where you are self-sabotaging. And I really love that. I do think that you can also see a lot of career things culminate in ways you weren't expecting. But you have to get out there and chase things that you know you're going to enjoy, that you know that you love doing. Like, honestly, in some respects, like, because I've been, like, kind of, like, switching aspects of my career, and I'm like, you know what I really enjoy, honestly, is, like, I love cooking. Maybe I'd end up in a kitchen someday. It's, like, one of those things where it's, like, just explore things that you love. What do you enjoy doing? What makes you happy? At the end of the day, do you want to feel drained completely, or do you want to feel a little bit fulfilled about what you've done and what you get to do during the day? And not everybody has that opportunity. Not everybody has that in life, or they don't believe that they do. When I think a lot of it has to do with mindset and manifesting. Of course, I don't want to say that's for everybody, because there's a lot of society today is especially set up in a way that is very like, if you're born to this class, it is very hard for you to get out of it. And I think it's really silly to tell everybody to just pick themselves up by their bootstraps and become a millionaire. Because if we all are in this mindset that we are temporarily embarrassed millionaires, then that's just simply not true. I'm sorry, it's just not. Like, we can't all be those people that we see on Instagram, that we see on the covers of magazines, and it's time to just get real with that in some aspects. Like, not everybody has that lot in life, and most of those people that do, and are you know, that you see living that kind of way, have been born into that, have generational wealth that a lot of people do not have. And it's silly to pretend it's something that we can all do. It's not silly to have dreams. It's not silly to go for things. But I'm just saying, it's, if you get pissed off and you think that, you know, if I'm someday I'm gonna be a millionaire, it's gonna be like this. Like, don't make yourself feel shitty because you're not living that life, and because that's not your reality. Be happy with what you have. Be thankful. Be grateful. Gratitude brings in more wealth and more abundance than you could ever know. Yeah, abundance isn't always money. It isn't always the paycheck. It isn't always the thing around you. I think Taurus, for a lot of you, there's a deep sense of a loss of security and trying to fill that with material at this time, and it's not going to help. So don't try to fill that void that is as you leave these things behind, as you change these aspects of yourself and you let things go, and you let certain aspects of you and your dreams and your path in life die, and you divert somewhere else and you start to pivot. Don't try to fill up these voids, these empty spaces, with food or vices or things that make you feel temporarily comfortable. Ooh. Let's see, one at a time. And I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Scorpio. I don't think this is a time where you're going to be really focused on love and romance. Not that it's not there. I just think you're not really, you don't feel stable or secure enough mentally, emotionally, anything to, it's like too much is changing, and to try to start something serious for you single Taurus is too much right now, I think. With the Page of Cups there and the King of Pentacles reversed, like, you just don't, it's not really a time. We have a lot changing, we have a lot shifting, and I think there's just too much chaos to make things work. There are certain things that we cannot expect that are coming in to shake up our life. And it does in positive ways, but if you are trying to start something with somebody, you're trying to find feeling within a relationship, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that, like trying to make something happen the way it is, you just don't have it. You're too busy, okay? And even if you're in a relationship, you're not going to be feeling yourself because you're going to be changed. You're in the midst of changing right now. You're not going to be the same person that they signed up for, and it might be time to talk about that and say, you know, these things about myself are changing. I'm not going to ask you to, you know, force you to stay or anything, but, you know, this is who I am now. Do you accept that person? Do you respect that person? Do you love me still? Is this unconditional love, or do we need to take a step back here? Because, you know, there is such thing. I mean, I don't want to get into this too deep. I was trying to keep this one shorter, but God, you and Scorpio's readings I knew were going to be tougher. I'm trying not to do everybody's readings at like 30 minutes long, but like tomorrow is an eclipse, so what am I thinking? I want to look at that Tower just for a second here because that's to do with relationship stuff. Okay. If you don't want to get pregnant, now is the time to be careful, okay? That's what I'm going to say there with the Empress showing up there. It's also time to let go of anything dissatisfying and, yeah, taking a step back. It's like you're in a place of manifesting, and if things are not, especially in terms of relationship, in terms of love, being presented to you in ways that, like, are good or that you want, it's time to take a step back here and really kind of focus on what is working, what is not working. Seven of Pentacles reversed to me is like, all right, I've been like toiling away at something that is not changed. It's not getting better. It's not great. It's not like horrible, but it's also not great. It's not really shifting in any positive way. It's not getting greater here. And the Empress, to me, that was immediately like your energy there with the Blasted Tower. Circumstances that might seem like chaotic and intense and come from the outside, and you're like, whoa, okay, are actually going to remove things that weren't really being able to be built up into anything more than whatever it is that you were trying to make of it. It's like, it wasn't going to happen. You can't make fetch work. You can't make fetch happen here. It's kind of what I get. And with the Four of Swords, like, you got to take a step back. You got to rest and, like, reevaluate and manifest in what you want instead of, you know, like, trying desperately to, like, meet this person and do that, or, like, talk to a new person and try to do that. It's like, however ways you've been doing it, have they been working? Maybe not. It's time to evaluate what it is you really want and what it is you're bringing in terms of relationships, the type of people, the type of relationship. What is nurturing? What do you want? It's really a time to sit back and let things come to you. You're in a magnetic state with the North Node in your sign. So it's very easy for you to bring in things without really thinking about it. And I think there has to be a little bit more thought put into it, a little bit more effort in that arena. So until you're ready, I think it's time to say goodbye and let some things go and just say, you know, like, this is where I'm at. If you're willing to be friends, fine, but, like, I'm just not about this right now. Or if you're in a relationship, again, like, yeah, it's time to talk about some aspects of it if you're not satisfied and decide whether it's worth it or not. I think that there will be some events that really show you, you know, if the relationship is there or if it's not, if it's worth it, you know? Is it worth fighting for, or have we learned our lesson about fighting for things that we know in our hearts are probably not going to change? Like, we can't be the only person that puts an effort that sees the writing on the wall, right? Sometimes I think Tauruses are a little bit too psychic in that kind of respect. We can sense right away where something is going and if it's going to be worth our time, or if we have to say, sorry, bub, like, it's just not you, it's me. I think you have a lot of power right now to make life what you want, but I would say trying to tie yourself down during this cuffing season is just not going to be a really good time for you. I think there's a lot of growth and a lot of exploration and a lot of other things getting in the way for you to build up that traditional thing. There's just too much eclipsean energy for you right now. You got too much happening from all different angles. things are going to go forward in ways you weren't expecting. And they will end up better than what your plan was and where you imagined yourself to be. Okay? I want you to know that too. But you've got to just keep working. You got to keep toiling. You got to put some effort in here to where you want to see change in your life. Okay? Ooh. We'll end up with those ones. Yeah. By Capricorn season, I think you will see the rewards that you've been waiting for. It'll feel a lot better, but I also think this season in general is bringing forth a lot of new foundations for you that you feel like, but again, it's also, what are you willing to fight for with the Seven of Wands? Don't let people push you around. Don't people tell you what to believe. Don't bow down to people just because that's how they want things, or they think that you should be this specific way. And, you know, oh, why are you like this when we're like this? It's that kind of shit where it's like, just leave me alone. This is who I am. Like, this is who I am. I built myself, not you, not anybody else. I am my own individual person. And I have the right to change. I have the right to shift. I have the right to change paths. I have the right to become somebody better. I have the right to grow and to learn and to shift in any direction I want to. Especially ones that are more positive, more emotionally satisfying, more stable and secure for me. You have some big gifts coming in. Of emotional growth, of possibly beginnings of real love by the end of, you know, November there. And you'll also have a really strong foundation to build upon monetarily, financially. There's security here. There's emotional security as well. And inspiration. So I think that was an intense reading for you guys. I'm going to leave that one there. We're going to pull a romance angel card just like I did for Scorpio. Whew, boy. I can't wait to talk about the eclipse tomorrow. Oh my God. Hopefully this stuff gets fixed. It's really frustrating because I want to be streaming and I can't. I'm losing my mind about it. Let's see about romance angel. Oh my gosh. Pull one more for Taurus. November 2022. I love it. These are, yeah, this is what we need. Let go of control issues is probably the most important message, I think, for everybody right now. When we're going to entering eclipse season with everything going on, you can't control shit, okay? So just allow the situation to unfold naturally. I think for Taurus, I mean, I'm speaking from as a Taurus Venus. It doesn't have to work for everybody, but I'm somebody who I found, like, things have to unfold naturally. I got to be your best friend first. I got to make sure things, like, work in terms of love and relationship in that kind of way. If it doesn't unfold naturally, it doesn't feel right to me, and it never works out. So there's a natural unfolding here, and you just can't control the situation. But there's also natural chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. Like I said, like I've been saying all this reading, you have a magnetic energy with the North, especially so with the North Node in your sign. So what are you manifesting in? All right. Taurus, so again, if you want to book a private reading, you can email me at dqtarot@gmail.com. Follow me over on my Instagram. I haven't really posting there. I don't know. I've kind of been like weird with Instagram lately, I feel like. But definitely go follow me over on Twitch. I've been trying to do a lot more content there. We've been having a lot of fun doing like little mini readings for everybody. And again, if you're a new follower over my Twitch and I'm streaming, and you know, I mean, even when I'm not streaming, I can see who's followed me recently. So if you jump on the chat and say, you know, I just followed, like, would love a little mini free reading, just type your question in and we can do it, okay? So I'm doing that for a little while longer until I reach a certain point with Twitch. But come and join for that. Good luck through this eclipse energy. Love you guys so much.